Trump says he will send National Guard troops to Chicago despite pushback from local elected leaders. Yesterday in the Oval Office, the president described the city as, quote, a hellhole, and made this appeal to Illinois' governor.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
All right, CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang is joining me now for more on this. Weijia, it's so good to see you. So the White House is justifying sending troops to Chicago. How and why, and what other cities are potentially next?
Vlad, always great to see you. So President Trump, even though he said it's only a matter of time that this will happen, really didn't provide many details about how this would unfold and when the federal National Guard troops would be sent into that city. And we know that the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, was listening because he directly responded just a short time later at a press conference of his own, making very clear, Vlad, that he has no intention of calling up President Trump for help on the matter. In fact, he said that Trump's comments were unhinged, insane, and that there was no reason to bring federal law enforcement to his state. But, you know, the president is not backing down. As you mentioned, it's not only Chicago that he's talking about, but Baltimore as well, and other Democratic-led cities. But again, so far we don't have any more details about when the plan would actually unfold. But the president says it is his right and his obligation to protect Americans, to keep people safe, Vlad.
All right, let's talk about what's on agenda today, Weijia. The president is set, as you know, to meet with the president of Poland at the White House. What do we expect from that?
That's right. This newly elected Polish president is expected to arrive here at the White House shortly, and this is a already friendly relationship. In fact, President Trump endorsed him when he was running for office. It was a rare move. And also, you know, you can imagine, Vlad, just looking at where Poland is located, what will be at the top of the agenda today, and that is talks about ending the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. The Polish president is expected to make a plea for the president to keep U.S. troops in his country, given the potential threat. And of course, they'll also talk about any next steps to get Vladimir Putin to the table to make something happen, which of course the president has been working on now for several months without much success at all. In addition to that, Vlad, there will be a flyover here in Washington to honor the Polish delegation, because there was a fighter in Poland who was killed during some exercises last month. So this is meant to be a show of support for Poland, but also we should note that China is having a lot of their own show and tell when it comes to military. So this might just be to combat that, at least a bit.
All right. And Weijia, before we let you go, as you know, in just a few minutes, we're going to hear from those Jeffrey Epstein survivors, accusers. Any word from the president as to what we're expected to hear later this morning?
So far, Vlad, he hasn't weighed in on this new development, but of course that could change. We do expect to see the president a couple times today, and I can't imagine he won't be asked about that, because he has made it part of the discussion. He has promised transparency when it comes to that case, although he hasn't directed the Attorney General to release all the files in the case, even though that is something that he once promised to do on the campaign trail.
He sure did. All right, Weijia, thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you.
You too.
All right, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, as we said, says that the Trump administration has already begun preparations to deploy the National Guard troops to fight crime in Chicago. CBS News Chicago reporter Darius Johnson explains the pushback from local leaders.
Good morning. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says sources tell him ICE agents and National Guard troops are currently being moved into place and could be here in the city of Chicago as early as next week. The president is now calling Chicago a hellhole, insisting that troops are needed after the holiday weekend's violence. Nearly 60 people were shot and 8 people were killed. The president challenged Governor J.B. Pritzker to call and ask him for help, saying that would make any deployment legal if he's asked to intervene. But Pritzker says that's not happening. His sources confirm federal staging is already underway with agents and vehicles currently being relocated from Los Angeles to Chicago.
Over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets.
He just wants his own secret police force that would do publicity stunts whenever his poll numbers are sinking. Whenever his jobs report shows a stagnating economy, whenever he needs another distraction from his failures.
Now, the president's new push comes after a federal judge says the deployment of troops to Los Angeles violated federal law. The Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul says if troops arrive here in the city of Chicago, they will file a similar suit. Reporting along the lakefront here in Chicago this morning, I'm Darius Johnson, CBS News.